So, poem by Simon Armitage. And if it snowed and snow covered the drive, he took a spade and tossed it to one side, and always tucked his daughter up at night, and slippered her the one time that she lied. And every week he tipped up half his wage, and what he didn't spend each week he saved, and praised his wife for every meal she made, and once for laughing punched her in the face. And for his mum he hired a private nurse, and every Sunday taxied her to church, and he blubbed when she went from bad to worse, and twice he lifted 10 quid from her purse. Here's how they rated him when they looked back. Sometimes he did this, sometimes he did that. Okay, one of the more enigmatic poems in the collection. Enigmatic means essentially hard to unpick. Unlike some of the other poems, or most of the other poems, it's not told in this kind of first-person confessional style. It's not like the narrator, is talking to you. It's a portrait of a man. That's probably the best way of describing this particular poem. It's a portrait of a man's life. And it's a portrait of the man as father, as husband, and as son. It's important that we see that. Each of the stanzas deals with this man and his relationship with his daughter, his wife, and his mother. So we can see a link with the poem we've just, the poem I was talking about earlier, My Father Thought It Bloody Queer. Because, again, it's about how we are defined and how our identity is formed by the relationships that we have with other people. So let's look at the first stanza. And if it snowed and snow covered the drive, he took a spade and tossed it to one side, and always tucked his daughter up at night. It's a good man. He's a good man, isn't he? I mean, it's very obvious. You know, he's if it snows, he will always get rid of that snow. He doesn't kind of sit in front of the telly and expect someone else to do it. And he always tucks his daughter up at night. It's not something that he'll do every now and again. You know, it's his job. He'll tuck his daughter up at night. He's a good father. And then we get the second stanza. And every week he tips up half his wage, and what he didn't spend each week he saved. So he's not someone who's, you know, buying things on credit cards and accruing debts. He's careful with his money. You know, he's looking after his money. And half his wage, you know, it sounds to me like goes towards his family. And he praises his wife for every meal that she makes. And it's every meal. It's not just every now and again. It's every meal. And then we get that last stanza. He hires a private nurse for his mum because obviously, you know, she's got ill, and the National Health Service maybe isn't doing what it should be doing. So he's hired a nurse for her, and he taxis her to church every Sunday because that's obviously what's important to her. You know, every Sunday, not just every now and again. And he cries, he blubs when she gets more and more ill. So, you know, every night he tucks his daughter up. Every meal he praises his wife. Every Sunday he taxis his mother to church. So that's a portrait of a good man. But what Armitage does here, which is very, very clever, which is very effective, which works really, really well, is he contrasts those good acts that the man does every day of his life with the 1 or 2 times when he gets it wrong. But he doesn't just get it wrong a little bit. The 3 acts that he commits are pretty awful. He slippers his daughter, and she only lies once, but he still slippers her for it. You know, he hits her with a slipper. And his wife laughs once. We're not sure at him. We don't know. He punches her in the face. You don't get much more appalling an act, really, for a husband to commit on a wife than that. And then he steals money from his mother. Lifted 10 quid from her purse. To lift means to steal. So we have this contrast here. Good, always doing good things. But on those few occasions when his family, his wife or his daughter, do something he disagrees with, he commits an act of violence on them. And a couple of times he stole money from his mum. Paints a rather confusing picture of a man. What we'll do in the next screencast is we'll just see if we can unpick what Armitage is saying here about someone's identity through these acts.